Alright, so since you guys loved the first mock draft that we did so much, and now that my favorite team, Houston Texans, because that's the first overall pick, I decided to run it back, so let's do another one. So last time I said for the Texans we were going to take Will Anderson, but now they benched Davis Mills, so it's no secret that they're going to go quarterback here. And I think Bryce Young is the best one available, so I have him going Texans at number 1. Number 2, we got the Bears, and I think Will Anderson going number 2 is just it's really no brainer for them. They traded off Robert Quinn, who is their best edge rusher, and they really don't have anybody else good at that position. And with him just being so good, I think it's a good fit for them. Now for the Seahawks, it really could go a lot of different ways. I don't really see quarterback as a big need since Geno Smith is doing so well. And I think that the best player other than Will Anderson in this class is defensive lineman Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Dude's an absolute beast. You guys probably saw the picture or the highlight of him picking up Jalen Daniels as he sacked him. That was pretty sick. Or Jaden Daniels, my bad. In the SEC championship game. Now, at number 4, I thought about going with somebody else here, like maybe another D lineman like Brian Brzee. But no, I gotta go CJ Stroud. I really don't think Jared Goff is a long-term answer. He's doing well right now, but I don't know. Consistency is really not the best with him. So I think CJ Stroud would be. I mean, for as much shit as I give him, he's not that bad. And not that bad. He's a talented player as much as I say about him. I think he deserves to go this highly. Now, this is where you could arguably take Bijan Robinson here, but I'm not going to do that. I think an edge rusher at corner is more important. And I'm going to go with Keely Ringo. They do have a good secondary with Darius Slay and James Bradbury, but those guys are both in their 30s, so they don't really got a whole lot of time left. And the talent on their roster is pretty loaded, so getting some guy who's only 21 years old and very, very talented as well, I think would be a really good idea. Carolina Panthers, I'm going to surprise you. I'm not going to give them a quarterback here. They do have Matt Corral. You have to remember that. He hasn't had a chance, and I think he's a very talented player. So I'm not going to give him a quarterback here. I'm going to go with Quentin Johnston, who I think is the top receiver in this draft, even ahead of Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jordan Addison. Yeah, no, I got to go with Quentin Johnston. I think he also has the highest upside of any receiver. And not picking an edge rusher here, they already have Brian Burns. They don't have a big game receiver aside from DJ Moore, and he has really not been good this year. So I think this is a good right pick for them. I think a receiver would be a good idea here for the Jaguars, but I'm going to go with Brian Brzee. Again, I think he's very, very talented as well. Jaguars don't really have that big interior defensive line presence, and I do think he is better than Myles Murphy, so that's why he's going there. And Myles Murphy's more of an edge, too. Now here at number 8, I think Joey Porter Jr. wouldn't be the worst pick, but I had him taking Peter Skoronski. Myles Murphy would have been a good pick as well, but Kyler Murray, he's a good dual threat quarterback, but you cannot have him like running for his life literally every single play. So I think that Skoronski's the right pick here. Now quarterback, this is where Will Levis going. I do think that he's a little bit overrated, but the Colts really need a quarterback, and I do think he's the best one available. So there he goes. Now, this is finally where I have Myles Murphy going. At number 10, most people have him going a little bit higher. I do think he's a very, very good player, and this would be an absolute steal for the Falcons if they can get him at this spot. Don't expect him to be available here, but if this were my draft, I'd have him available here. This is going to be a little bit surprising to most people, but I'm going Michael Mayer at 17. I think you could honestly tell most teams who are thinking of drafting a tight end this year, wait next year for Brock Bowers, but Michael Mayer is a great player, and the Packers, I mean, they have some holes in their roster, but Robert Tonyan's not going to get it done at tight end. I think Michael Mayer is a much higher upside than him. And Tonyan's on the older side, too, so I think Mayer would be a good, I think he'd probably be their best bet here. And now Tyree Wilson would be a great pick here. I'm going to go Paris Johnson Jr. They need a good O-lineman, the Raiders do, and Paris Johnson Jr. I think is really good. DeJuan Jones is another guy who I think is going to go a lot higher than most people think he is. But I think Paris Johnson Jr. is overall the best, or the better player of the two of them, and has much higher upside, so I'm going here. And now this is where I think the Texans need to take a receiver, and I'm taking Jordan Addison. You could argue for Tyree Wilson, but try to name 3 receivers on their roster. I bet you can't. I'm just going to leave it at that. Now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm actually going to go to Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr. is Joey Porter Sr.'s son, if you guys couldn't tell. And Joey Porter Sr. is a coach for the Steelers. So if he's still available here, expect them to take him. And also they need a cornerback. Now the Lions take I have them taking Cam Smith at 15. And Christian Gonzalez and Clark Phillips are also great players. But I think Cam Smith is a little bit better than both of them, and the Lions really need help in that secondary. And now, for the Chargers, I've been taking Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think this comes down to he's a very talented player, a lot of upside. Keenan Allen's on the older side, and Mike Williams is inconsistent and has injury problems. Could you take an offensive tackle here? Yes, like Broderick Jones, but I think that Smith-Njigba is probably the better pick here. Now, 17, this is where I have Christian Gonzalez from Oregon going. I actually went to an Oregon game this year. Oregon's defense got torched, but he was playing pretty solid. And overall, he's got good size, very high upside. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually decides to stay in school one more year, but assuming he doesn't, I'm going here. Now here at number 18, another corner going off the board, I have Clark Phillips from Utah. Clark Phillips, I think, just got robbed of the Jim Thorpe Award for the best DB in the country. It went to Travius Hodges-Tomlinson from TCU. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, and I'm a lot higher on him than most people are, but I think Clark Phillips is a much, much better player. And going to plenty of Utah games, just seeing this guy ball out, it's crazy. Now, number 19, this is probably going to shock a lot of you guys. I have Anthony Richardson going here. Do I think he should go here? No, but will he? I would not be surprised. I think just the talent that he has is, I don't know, I think that they're going to like that. So, should he have stayed in school another year? I personally think so, but hey, he didn't, so this is where he's going. Now, for the Seattle Seahawks, I'm thinking Trenton Simpson, a linebacker out of Clemson. Great off-ball linebacker. He's not really going to provide a lot of pass rush, but you did get Jalen Carter for that. And I do think he is the best off-ball linebacker in the draft, and the Seahawks really need that because Jordan Brooks is good, but like Trenton Simpson, he's a lot more versatile. Tennessee Titans, I thought about having Darnell Washington go right here, but they do need to have a bigger needed offensive tackle, and I have Broderick Jones from Georgia going here. Solid all-around offensive tackle. Not really much to be said about this, but he fills the need for the Titans. Now here at number 22, this is where I have Noah Sewell going to the Jets. I thought about giving them a safety here, but Noah Sewell's a very talented player. Like I said, I saw him play at Oregon this year. I actually have a Noah Sewell jersey because we have same first name, so I thought that'd be cool. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think that he's going to go a lot later than he should because he is an incredibly talented player with a really high upside. Now, number 23, I have the Giants taking Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. He just won the Biletnikoff Award. Before this year, I don't think anybody even had him being drafted, but out of anybody, I think he had the biggest breakout year of anybody, any single player in college football. And I've heard the Giants are really, really interested in him, and they do need a big wide receiver, so I think he's got that potential, so it's a pretty good fit for them. Now, finally, if y'all are waiting, I have Tyree Wilson coming off the board here. I do think he's a little bit overrated. I don't think he's as good as people are saying he is, but I do think he does get the edge over Isaiah Foskey simply for the he offers a lot more versatility, I think, and his ceiling's a little bit higher, so he's going here. You could argue for Foskey right here, but I have Eli Ricks from Alabama going right here. I don't know why he's been falling. He hasn't really played as much as you'd want him to, but he still has a lot of upside. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed in school another year, but I don't think he will, so this is where I have him going. Now, this is where I have Darnell Washington going. They need a tight end. If you just go watch this guy play, he is an absolute beast. He's a little underutilized at Georgia, but like I said, they already have Brock Bowers, so I mean, he works as a great blocking tight end. He is, I think, 6'7" and 275 pounds. I'm not making that up. I think that's actually how big he is. Incredibly fast, actually pretty agile for his size, and absolutely impossible to tackle. So you're getting pretty much a unicorn tight end here. Incredibly high skill ceiling, and if he can be used right, his ceiling is so high. That's where we have our first safety going off the board, and I'm Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M. I thought about Jordan Battle, who I actually think is way better than Brian Branch, but I think Antonio Johnson's ceiling is a little bit higher, so for that one reason I'm going here. And also, you'll hear me say that a lot, but the main thing that the team scouts draft off of is potential. So here going to the Chiefs, I have Isaiah Foskey. I really hope he does not fall this far, because that would be scary. And I'm just going to spray these next few picks. I have Jared Verse going off here to the or Isaiah Foskey and Jared Verse going back-to-back right here. Two edge rushers, so just kind of want to talk about them together. Foskey, he just announced he's going to skip his bowl game and go to the draft. Jared Verse, I can only imagine, will likely do the same, especially with Florida State not really playing in a good bowl game. But both these players are incredibly talented. I do give Foskey the edge for his consistency. Jared Verse is more of a breakout player this year. Both are incredibly talented, though, so I definitely think they deserve the spot. Bills, I really want to give him Bijan Robinson, but their safeties are really aging, so I'm gonna give him Jordan Battle. Like I said, I think he's the better safety over Brian Branch, who's also a very good player. But like I said, I've seen Jordan Battle play a lot, and the dude can play. He's a lot more of a while Brian Branch is a lot more of like strictly pass coverage. Jordan Battle can do a lot more than that, so that's what I'm going here. Philadelphia Eagles. This is finally where I have Bijan Robinson going off the board. Just running backs aren't really going to be taken that early, especially with how talented Bijan Robinson is. You'd think he'd be going higher than this, but yeah, here we are. This is also kind of me hoping, but this would be a great pick. Nolan Smith to the Texans with the final pick. This is actually the first pick of the second round, and Nolan Smith, he had I think he tore his pec this year, something like that, but incredibly talented player. I've seen him for now 5 years at Georgia. I love this player, and yeah, I think you can see all the picks great Texans are getting, but hopefully I can pull up the results. If not, that would kind of suck because I'm not going to go through each individual team. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this mock draft as much as you guys did the last one, and feel free to argue about this in the comments. So see you guys next time.